Hi, 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 hi. It has been a long time. I think last time I streamed about this particular topic was on 19th, and it's been 5 days. But I would say something about I was waiting for a result from my interview, one of my interviews that I had given, but um, it's an ongoing process, so it's fine. But I'm expecting a good result. But let's see what happens. Um, and these last past few days, the interview process right now in ML space or anywhere, to be honest, in tech, I have given a lot of interviews. Some of them were at good companies as well. Some were at okayish companies. Uh, but they were good. Some of them I had given uh, a very good interview. Some places I didn't. I was not prepared according to the expectations, but that happens. I mean, like you are going to always find something that you don't know about, and in tech that is definitely going to happen. So like you can't just like know everything for the interview. It's a constant process of preparing. But uh, that's the one that's another reason why I started this streaming thing, because I thought it would give me some confidence while interviewing and while presenting my code or my projects to the interviewers. So yeah, that's what has been happening. The other thing is I'm very happy that tomorrow we are going to have Christmas and the year is ending. So I wish you a very happy Christmas to everybody and happy New Year. I don't know if I will have a new stream in this year, next part of this project in the same year, or it will go to next year, but I will try to have a new next stream in this particular year itself. But still, happy New Year to everyone in advance, and let's start the next part of the hate speech classification project, which was, I think, in last part, I think we did, excuse me, I think we did experiment, notebook experiment. And right now, I'm thinking of, in this session, I'm thinking of completing data ingestion and data validation, two steps, and then we will complete, excuse me, the further steps, whatever model training and data transformation. So let's start with today's stream. So this is a flow chart which I'm following for data ingestion. I've just kept this to show what are the different components that are there in a data ingestion script. And for example, there are different kind of data ingestion for different kind of sources from where you have to do data ingestion. It might be a cloud storage like Google Cloud, or blob storage in Azure, or maybe S3 bucket in Amazon Cloud, AWS, or it might be a location on the internet from where you are downloading your data set. Maybe GitHub repository where you have kept your data and you are using a link, or your it, it it could be your Google Drive as well. You have kept a Excel worksheet in your Google Drive and you are down getting your data from over there. It could be anything. So for this, uh, today we are going to I'm going to use a repository link where I've stored the data that we had created in the last stream. Let me just check once. So we had ran this notebook in the last stream, right? Um, in our collab notebook, Google collab notebook, I think. Google collab notebook, we had ran this complete notebook and we had created a model. Model also, we will save from there itself, because I don't think we will make use of GPU from. We can make use of GPU if you have, but I think uh, for this project I will say use the same model that was created from Google Colab notebook. And last stream I remember, here I had said that why haven't they used the history model. So I think what they are doing is they are predicting and training in this particular step itself, because this we can see that uh, accuracy and training loss and training accuracy is given over here itself. So we don't have to like uh, this is basically model training na. So if we are not like if we are doing prediction over here, so over here, so we won't find like, and there are different steps, like there will be a prediction pipeline in pipelines as well, in ML pipelines as well. We will have a prediction pipeline separate and a training pipeline separate. So we won't do training and prediction in the uh, same line of code. So this is just basically training happening, and training validation and training accuracy is what we have got, and we have got around 93.56%. So it is a good training accuracy. I got confused last time about this particular line of code. So that I had mentioned that I will come back with this, and this is basically testing. We are test like training and testing. We have both uh, evaluated in this particular for on that particular data set we have done here itself, and test accuracy is also there, which is 92%. So this model which we have trained is good. Okay, so now I'll come to here where our project workflow is. See, uh, for any kind of script, we are going to follow these steps that are there in the for our modular coding part, and that's how like every for every step for like data validation, model training, data transformation, for each and every step we are going to first update the constants, then update the config entity, then update artifact entity, then update components. Basically components will be basically the scripts itself, like data ingestion, model training, or data transformation, data validation. The script itself is the component. Then pipeline will be the training pipeline or prediction pipeline, that we will decide on what function we are working on at the time. And app.py is the application we will be building. So in this particular manner, or this workflow should be followed for updating any file, so that this will be helpful in like if we integrate DVC in this, then the DVC workflow as well check these steps itself. For example, what is there anything updated in in each and every steps? That's why we have to follow this particular workflow. So right now, let me check. Yeah. So actually, I had actually built the data ingestion to make sure it's running. And in the logs file, I will show you. This is 23rd of December, right? Yesterday. Yeah. So I will show you the logs. So see, um, so yes, so first, while we call from the app.py, what we won't call like, ingest the data. We might call a class where it is like, for example, if we are running the app, there will be at endpoint, we will be going for prediction or for going for model training. So that's why it shows that, run pipeline, uh, training pipeline and class entered. That's why it shows. And on top of that training pipeline class, we inside that we will have different steps that will be first or ingest the data, then data validate the data, then further steps will be there. That's why we see that first we have run the training pipeline, then it triggers data ingestion step in the training pipeline. Then data ingestion starts from the GitHub repository, and all whatever function is triggered and whatever classes are called that are given here. And again, this will be created, we will see that. And what the output of this will get is an artifact file here. See, in this particular format itself, I had stored it on the GitHub. I will show you in a moment. Dataset.zip, we have it in our data folder as well. Dataset.zip. So dataset .zip will get downloaded, and then this zip file will be unzipped using the functions in we have written in constants and config entity. So, and why is this important? Because, for example, we have stored the datasets.zip in a particular some specific location. Now, what happens is after 1 month or after 2 months, our model is running, and after 1 month data, the hate speech data gets updated. For example, I in this current month I have got these many so certain amount of reviews or some certain amount of tweets. Then I collect them and concatenate with them with the old data and make a new data set and save it in the same format in my Google Drive or anywhere, any location where I'm ingesting data set from. Then when I keep that in the new location, then if I have, I mean, it won't directly uh, it won't directly detect that the dataset has updated. You have to imply some DVC or mlops tools to detect that the data is updated. And if the data is updated, then it will again run like the data ingestion. No, when you if you when you run the training pipeline or through app.py, If the data is updated, then it will run the data ingestion step, otherwise it will omit the step. That is the use of DVC basically. But to make sure that if we have if the data is updated, then we want to ingest it again. That's why we want to write this data ingestion scripts. Otherwise we can just store the data in a folder called data, and we can use it, but that's not what we want, right? uh, if we want that we always consider or always use updated data set from the internet. That's why we need to include the data ingestion step in our project. So right now, according to the flow chart, so there here constants config entity. Okay. So basically, in data ingestion config, there are like different files. So there might be a bucket name. Right now, we won't have a bucket name. We will have maybe a repository name or a source URL name. So that will be the source. Then the zip file name will be there. Data ingestion artifact directory. This is the basically artifact directory. Artifact directory, correct. New data artifact directory, right? Zip file directory, yes. If you are saving zip file in a different file, then the name of the zip file directory name, zip file path, right? So yes, here also the steps are clearly written that first you need to initiate model ingestion. Okay. Some part of this particular flowchart follow data ingestion through Google Cloud. We will, just ignore that for now. This get weights from G Cloud. We will do that in some future project. Right now. I want to do a basic project. That's why show a basic project. That's why I'm considering ingesting the data from like a GitHub repository, not a Google Cloud storage. So it will unzip and clean. Then it will unzip and clean. It will store imbalanced data separately, raw data file separately, and yeah, it will create artifacts for data ingestion. So let me show you the location where the data I have kept. Yes. So last time I had shown that this is my GitHub, right? Okay. So in my GitHub, in the repositories, just like I had created a hate speech classification, I have created another repository called datasets, and I have saved whatever datasets I need over here. So in this, I have committed it with hate speech data added. So this is the dataset which we require, and you can come here in my repositories, and here you can like type uh, there are like different you can just like basically what I'm trying to say is while ingesting while using this address for this data.zip file, there are possibilities of you making a mistake. So you can't just copy from here. Still, you will get a link. For example, right now I do have a link in my hand. If I press the copy button here, if I press copy raw file, this won't give you the what you call it, the data set, the address for the data dataset.zip file. You might think that I will copy it from here. Yes, if you copy it from here, still it won't give you this. This is not the correct link. Because this is basically the link for this web page. This is not the link for the dataset.zip file. This is the link. For example, if I copy this and I try to open a space reader new location. Let's see if this data gets downloaded or not. No, this is why, because this is basically the URL for location of this particular repository, this particular data set in this repository called datasets. So this is not the correct URL file. What you have to do is view raw. So view raw is basically, if you press on it, you will get a prompt to download the zip file. So we don't want to download the zip file directly. Press cancel and click right click on this one, and then you will get an option called copy link address. So now I will show you, paste it and show you. So see, this is the correct link for downloading data, because when you trigger this link, it gives an option to download the dataset.zip file. That's why you need to use the correct link, and I will put commit the link in my GitHub file. I was just showing that how you will make sure that which is the correct link that you are using for your dataset. And okay. So I think without like wasting any more time, we should just start with the code part, which is first is to write constants. So in our hate speech project, I'm going to constants, and then here this file is visible because I had written and ran this particular script before, but I have now like completely emptied it. So let's so first what we will do is import OS. Yeah, okay. So from now we need to also have date time for date time. Then we are going to import write some common constants that will be there for edit, for like from any place you're getting or any script you're writing, you will have to include these constant. That is, one is timestamp. String is equals date time dot now I'm sure it is visible to you. Month, day, year, hour, minutes, and then seconds. You can use any format. There are different formats. I'm using this one right. Artifacts. Then the next one will be artifacts directory. Artifact. os.path join. So basically name of the artifact and then times. Okay. Because I'm writing timestamp because like may whatever time the this is what it will give you is it's basically here see the date has already come because I had run in December 23rd of December. That's what the name I'm giving, and I think it was around 2 o'clock in the morning, so that's why this name has come up. Then zip file name is equals to data set source. You can write anything over here, like maybe if you want to get it from Google Drive, then you can write Google Drive link, or if you are getting it from um, some other source, then you can write that. We will some other constants that I will be using. I have written these are basically names of the constant. This is a basic file. I don't like write. We are writing this because we are writing this for the first time. Uh, in next further components, we won't have to write all of these again and again because we will be using the same constants file at least. These are the data ingestion specific constants. Data ingestion artifacts directory. Dir equals to environment. I think this is raw data directory. Raw. Yeah, this is the constants file for now. Further in next components, we'll add some more over here. But right now, for now, this is the particular constants file we have. Now we next step is updating config entity. So config entity is will be in entities config entity. So from data class. Data class is basically used to write uh, in classes in using a data class decorator. Import OS from hate speech dot constants import all. So star sign is basically used to import all the data, like all the functions we have written, all the components that we have written in that file. Art ingestion config. Why we are basically writing this class is because we might have multiple functions in this ingestion script, and we want all the functions to work according to this particular config entity. That's why we are writing like this in a class and writing multiple functions with it. So data source. So always when the data ingestion is running, it will look for the source URL that is given. So that's why we are using this kind of functions. Self source string source string is equals to zip file. Okay. Base ingestion directory. This command, na, it will give you get current working directory in OS. Basically, we are writing data in ingestion artifact directory path. So what will it do is to create the path, whatever the current directory is. From there, it will give you artifacts directory and then data ingestion artifacts directory. It is basically joining all these and creating the path. That's what is happening over here itself. Here as well, in this we can see that first date is written, then data ingestion artifacts is written. So three things have been joined here. Right? Sorry. And we have to define data paths. I am thinking that I will make videos to explain this concept of modular coding and writing data classes and functions. But for now, let's keep this because I had found a very good explanation video on one of the YouTube's website. It was really good. Like everybody should, I think, learn from that particular video. It explained data classes in a very good manner, basically. And what is the concept of self as well? Okay, self dot data ingestion artifacts directory data email. Okay, self dot new data artifact. Yeah, yes. Artifact underscore dir directory. Data ingestion raw data. The first was I think imbalanced data. This one is raw data. Okay. Then I think we'll have to also do it for zip paths, zip file path. I have developed projects, but when you're and even when learning from any video or YouTube or a GitHub repository, I always make sure that I write the entire code by my own, because it is same as you're practicing some problems, mathematics problems in your notebook. The more you practice it, the more you get used to the functions. So this is the basically main parts, that whatever are there that we have completed. Why we have to write differently? Because zip file name is different, and this is same like for all. This is for like new data, imbalanced. This is for raw data. This is for imbalanced data, and this is for zip file. Just that zip file is name is written in a different format. That's why we have to create a different kind of a path for this one. Let me just check if everything is right or not. One, two, okay. I mean, I don't need to check everything thoroughly right now. We can do bug solving session afterwards if this goes wrong. Config entity, we are done with config entity. Now comes artifact entity, right? So in entities itself, there is another folder called as artifact entity, and here it's basically all the paths we have written. Just the I think classes or data, data, data ingestion artifacts. We have to write them that they are string, uh, so that it will be easier. And it is called data class. Class. And what I feel is the more you practice, you get more confidence while speaking in the interview also. Uh, file path. Okay. In this, the class name was config. So now we come to, I think, main uh, element, that is components. Here we will write the code for ingesting and basically unzipping the data files. Sorry, unzipping the compressed zip folder. Um, so components is here, and in data ingestion components. This one we will have a lot of imports. Import OS, import system, import requests from zip file, import zip file. from hate speech constants. Uh, First we will get logger, import logging from exception, hate speech dot exception for custom exception from entity hate speech dot any dot config entity first for data ingestion config from, I think this is going to be saved here, artifact entity import data artifacts. Okay. So I think these are our imports that are done. Now class data ingestion. First we'll initialize this self data ingestion config. Okay, data ingestion config gives data ingestion. All the configs we have to state them in this particular these particular functions as well. That's why we are calling them from, like, mentioning them in this particular class. We have like written them over the like different config files like a data ingestion config or artifact, but like how will this class and functions from this class behave when data ingestion config is called? That's why we are writing this. So like whenever we uh, refer to data ingestion config in this particular class, it will get it from the hate speech entity config data ingestion config file, uh, py file. That is what is happening over here. This is a bit in too much detail. I hope that you are not finding this a bit boring and not feeling a lot drowsy, because I'm writing each and every line, so it might take some time. Okay. So another thing that, for example, in any functions that I had created, I haven't written any um comments. Uh, for example, for function, but when you're writing any code in company, you will find that in any each and every function there will be a comment that what this particular function does. So that's why for here I will write something that this particular function downloads data from the GitHub. It's okay if you don't write this, but at least data set dot zip from GitHub repo. Now I will write here good practices to write it in try and exception block. So always there will be um, whenever we are calling a function, if is called, then there should be a logging file that we are entering this particular function. So entered the download data from GitHub. So this is important because if we get an error at this particular stage, then we will know that what particular function is going wrong, or what particular stage we are going wrong. For example, there is no data file at the location, then we won't be downloading anything, right? I don't think it will get detected in this step. Whenever we are processing the file, it will get detected, or I mean, because we are not writing that if we downloaded anything or not, give a check about that. But still, that's why the logging and exception logging is important, basically, so that in logs we know that at which particular step we got an error. Directory. So if we download the data, it will create a directory called data ingestion, given by data ingestion config data ingestion artifacts directory. Exit. Okay. Response request get self dot data ingestion source URL. Basically, stepwise this is happening, that what you need to do first. First you need to make directory, then you need to get the URL from where you're downloading. Then for this, if the URL is not there or the URL is wrong, then we raise, basically, response dot raise for status. there are different statuses, like for example 200, 500 that are there. I will show you maybe at the end of this particular session, or maybe at the end of doing data ingestion. Self data ingestion config dot zip path. I'm not able to recall what this is, but it's fine. For chunk in respond dot iter. So at the end of this particular function, I'm writing that exited the download. Basically, this function, if this runs successfully, it will say that exited the download data from GitHub method of data ingestion class. Exception as E. Give me a moment. Sorry for that. So yes, we are putting this exception as E and raise custom exception from the custom exception file we have written E sys from me. Okay. Now that we have downloaded the zip file, other thing that we might have to want to do is extract or unzip clean. Let's Please, if anyone is watching, please let me know in the comments that you're watching, and if I need to improve something, you can. If you're coming from Instagram, then put a DM in my Instagram, or you can put in comments that this you might want to improve this, or if my voice is not coming clearly, then please comment and tell me. So here logging stage, same thing. You'll write. Actually, I will just copy from here. See. So here we'll write. We'll just change the. So basically, if you are writing any functions in a particular class, those are called as methods. That's why we are writing here, like entered unzip and clean method instead of function. Data ingestion class. Correct. Again, try and accept block. Read. Zipper of dot extract all self dot data ingestion config zip file directory. Now we will give a logging here, log here, logging dot info, exited the unzip and clean method. Okay. Unzip and method of data ingestion class, correct. Wait, it has to return something as well. This method has to self dot two files, right? Data ingestion config dot data artifacts directory and new data. New data artifact directory. Except block. Array analysis. Is it the same thing? Analysis. Now what it will do is initiate data ingestion. So like we need there will be must be a function to initiate this as well, right? When we run the pipeline, basically. So, like so in the pipeline or we want to write this particular function when you want to initiate. So that's why we need to write this initiate data ingestion function. Data ingestion artifacts. We haven't written this, right? Okay. Self is there. Logging dot info entered same thing. Entered initiate data ingestion method of data ingestion class. Yeah. So what So yes, that's what we have done. Basically, written another function that runs all the above functions, both the above functions, so that when we are writing in the training pipeline or whichever, if we are writing in pipeline, then we have to write a single function and not all the functions separately over there, because that's why we are creating this kind of modular approach, right? If we have to write each and every step for like downloading, unzipping in the training pipeline, then we will have like like n number of functions, and we don't want that. Exited initiate data ingestion method from data ingestion class. I will write except block. First, we want to return data ingestion artifacts. Basically, check if something is like downloaded or not. So basically, this concludes our data ingestion component, and now we have to write the pipeline. Pipeline, we just have to call this, write a self for the training pipeline class, and then call this at this stage. For the other functions, we'll write when the other components are added. So let's go to training pipeline. In pipeline, we have training pipeline. Here, import system from it speech dot logger, import logging from hate speech dot exception, import custom exception from hate speech dot data ingestion, sorry, components dot data ingestion. In There is another way of writing this. For example, in components, we in somewhere we did not like import this particular, then star. So that we can do over here for this line after components. And basically what we want to do is we want all the no, no, in this we are writing it as function, na? So we can't, because in different files it is there, so we have to write it separately. I think I had seen a different way of writing this, but for now we are fine. It dot both of them for data ingestion config from it speech dot in info articles. Okay. Class training train pipeline. Let's keep it simple. There will be a self method. Self dot data ingestion. Okay. Config is equals to data ingestion config. Train pipeline. एक मिनिट है. तुला काय अजून हवंय? Train for train pipeline. Pipeline start. No, start data ingestion, and in that we will use the initiate data ingestion method that was written earlier. This is arrow function. Which basically will give you artifacts, data ingestion artifacts. So what happens is there will be a logging dot info enter the data, start data ingestions method of class or train pipeline class. Enter the start data ingestion method of train pipeline class. Okay. Then try info and I'm writing here a lot of logging logs. You might omit some of these as well, but it's fine. This is just for practice. This is the data ingestion that we called from components. Um, Data ingestion config is equals to self dot data ingestion config. So config, okay. Data ingestion artifacts. Data ingestion config is equals to data ingestion artifact. Initiate data ingestion. And I think we know that this method returns two outputs. That's why, and in data ingestion artifacts as well, we have two outputs. Successfully ingested data from GitHub repository. Here there will be a exit message, exited start data ingestion and method of training pipeline. Again, for this particular function, there should be a message here. As I said, I mean, if you don't want to write so many logs, you can like skip for now to, get used to writing logs. I'm writing them for each and every function ending and whatever we are doing. This returns basically data ingestion artifacts. Okay. And in exception, function E custom E comma sys as E from here first it will be so run. There will be another function called run pipeline, which we will basically write in our app.py so that run pipeline will be basically a general function in the application, or I mean, to run the training pipeline and instead of giving different stages in the pipeline. This is the main function basically to run the pipeline. Enter the see run pipeline method uh, of train pipeline class. Hmm, Again, try. data ingestion artifact to says dot stop ingestion exited the run pipeline. Just make sure that it is visible. Okay, okay, it's visible. You can like code along with me. That would be a better option here. Now in next components, I won't be writing like each and every line. Uh, I will be like explaining. Maybe I'll write it. It's just that I don't have much time because I'm explaining. And I mean, I can take time because this is stream. This is not a YouTube video. So exception e is custom e-commerce from e. So basically, this is the train pipeline function. Have I done anything, any mistake in this? It's just that haven't called this anywhere. Maybe that's why it's not highlighting. Oh, wait. I'll write the app.py. In app.py, you have to just pipeline, train pipeline, import. Okay, object. We are just calling the objects and object. In train pipeline object, we are running the pipeline. You then see if when we write this and save it, then it will get highlighted because we are using the function finally. Okay, object dot run pipeline. Okay, so let's if we see now, see it's not highlighted because we are not using it anywhere. That's why the editor feels that we might have forgotten to use this. But when I will press here save, should have highlighted. Maybe I've done some mistake. Run. Okay. 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 I don't know why. Has something gone wrong here? Well, let's see. I will try to run the pipeline and then let's see. We can compare them as well. What I will do is right now I will delete this file completely. So what I want is in this, I want a dataset.zip file when I run the app.py. What I want is dataset.zip file. It will run the train pipeline and run pipeline which will ingest the data. So I want dataset.zip file in on this path which will have a 24 date, that is today, of month December, and at I think 2034 35 8:35 p.m. in data ingestion artifacts. So I want these three files. So let's delete it for now. Delete. Move to recycle bin. Okay. So now I will basically run this first. Before running this, let me make sure that okay. So what I wanted to show is anytime while running this particular our pipeline or app, you need to make sure that we are in our virtual environment. So first I will go to conda env list, and hate is there. Hate should be there. Hate. So yes, hate is here, right? This is our environment hate. So I will now. I mean, you don't have to check it all always, but conda activate hate. Okay, so now we can call this python app.py. Mhm. Okay, that's what I felt. We have made a mistake somewhere. Okay. This I have gone wrong with this. This should be here. List the indentation in that particular function has gone wrong. That's why it's giving it that way. Can I do this? I was feeling something is going to go wrong. That's fine. I think last session as well, something had gone wrong, but it's basically learning process of learning. Yeah, this looks better now. We didn't get anything. We got an error in in error as well. App dot line 4 in module object run pipeline is not running. So there was problem with attribute error. Train pipeline object has no attribute to run pipeline. So that's why this function was wrong in indentation in this function was wrong. It should have been here, but I had written it uh, below the except block. So that's what was going wrong. Now it should run perfectly fine. Yes, it has run, and it has created a artifacts folder in with today's date, timestamp that I had given at time 2037, that is 8:37 at PM, which the address is data ingestion artifacts. Name is dataset.zip file, and we have this basically tweets, label tweets. Raw data is here as well. Okay, so this is running perfectly fine. We want to now make a GitHub commit of about this. So I'll close it everything for now. So we completed all these steps. I will make a GitHub commit saying that data ingestion added. But before that, making a GitHub commit. So we need to do one more thing is that go into this GitHub gitignore and add our artifacts folder address all. Why we are doing this? Because we don't want to push the data set to our data GitHub. I mean, there's no point in again and again pushing the data set to our repository. We have already done like the zip file is already there. It's just that we are doing this because we run while running instead of here creating the folder and timestamp, yeah, in data ingestion location here. If we choose to do it in a cloud storage, then what will happen is it will create a bucket named as artifact with this file path like timestamp. We can do this in sorry in G Cloud or any cloud environment as well, and it will create a bucket name or a S3 bucket name or a Google's cloud bucket name with this particular name, and this might happen. That's for the this use case we are doing this, but we don't want to commit this to our GitHub repository because it is not required. So, so in GitHub, while committing, what we can do is git status. Okay. Add dot git commit status. Now it will show in green. Okay. Git commit with message data ingestion added. Okay. And now basically push the code. Push region main. Okay. So or to which repository it has committed, it is visible over here. I will go to my repository locations. Okay, its which classification updated now. Data ingestion added is the last commit at 1 minute ago. Okay, let's go in commits and let's see what has happened. In data ingestion added commit, basically we added this particular line, and yes, this is what we've done. I had done some changes in the README file, that's why it is showing this. App.py, I had added this flowchart, then data ingestion. Okay, this looks good. So this is how someone, if there is a moderator for this particular repository that you're committing to, and this is what they check, and then they decide if they want to merge the commit or not. Sorry. Mm, how much time is there? It's been around 2 hours. I can see. Data validation is not a big file, so I'm thinking, what should I do? We won't actually be doing data validation for now. I will do it in the next one with data transformation. I mean, it is not required as well at this point. Yes, data ingestion, then we will directly do data transformation. So this was basically the data ingestion part. You can do some validations like checking the number of rows and everything, but like it's like minimal, and we have checked it using um, our GitHub, like the notebook experiment. So we don't want to do that. If even if we don't do it, it's fine. Or if even if I have to do it, then I will make sure I do it in the next session. In here as well, we have like directly data transformation, so we don't need to do that. Okay. So right now, this is the the I will put. I have kept my data set in the. So I have kept my dataset, the dataset .zip file in in a repository called dataset in my GitHub account. So you can go and use the link use the download link as I shown in the stream and get it from there. So this is what we have done today. In the next one, we will check how data transformation works, and if we get time, we will do data like model training, like model the yeah model evaluation pushers, data transformation, model trainer basically as well. But let's see what like how much time we get in next time. This was 2 hours around, not completely 2 hours, but it was good. So it was nice to it has been nice to come here and stream, and I am thinking of being much more like regular and coming and doing this more frequently. So might I might do this like tomorrow itself, tomorrow or day after tomorrow itself. I won't like wait for like 5 days. Okay, so see you next time. Bye bye. I hope you have a good Christmas and a New Year. Christmas is tomorrow, I think. So yeah, we hope you have a good Christmas tomorrow. Bye bye. See you next time. Bye.